look. We're going to be bottling this. This is the Imperial Stout. So this, apparently this is 50 days then. This has been conditioning for, which has been sitting on oak chips for that time. So that seems to me a good amount of time to be sitting there, and then we'll get it into the bottles today. It's starting to heat up as well too, so I don't want it getting really warm in here and then it's still in the fermenter. So the situation is this, right? I bought 24 bottles, 24 glass, no not that, obviously not that one, 24 of those, okay, because I'm out of small bottles. These are 330 ml bottles. So I've got 24 of them. I've got a few of the kind of swing top ones. Got some Grolsch ones down there as well too. There's more stuff in some of them boxes as well too. So, but the thing is that in that, I think there's about 16 litres. I don't know exactly how much. I think there's about 16 litres. And if it's 16 litres, then it's going to be 48 of those. So I've only got like, I don't even have 48 caps, never mind. I've only got about maybe 40 caps at the most. But we'll take it as we go. If we have to do it in 2 goes, then that's okay with me. Okay. Let's see what happens here. I've got this as silicone, so any kind of kink is suddenly a problem. Okay, well it's working. It's not leaking there. I'm afraid of the whole thing just falling down. Okay. Shall we get a taste of it first? Let's put that in there. The plant, oh god, look at this. Ooh, it's not gonna work. This is not going well. So I think the plan will be, we'll go right to left, right to left. Let's taste it. It smells like a big stout. That was way too smooth. That was way too smooth. Nice wee chunk of coffee on that. It's quite sweet as well too. Sweet coffee. Okay. Let's try and do this. Need to not make a mess as well too, because I don't have any kitchen roll at all. We are out. I think the seat's too high as well. Whoa. Of course I'm gonna make a mess, like. There's one. If they're a bit higher up, it might be a bit easier. I should have put them on a box, maybe. Okay, this is not filling anywhere near as fast as the first one. What does that mean? That means blocked. What's going on? What is going on? Has it just given up the ghost? I think it's blocked. We have one bottle. What the hell? Huh? Ah! Oh, I'll tell you what it might be. Creating a vacuum at the top. So I've still got the cling film on. Okay. This is... That'll do it. That will definitely do it. Yep, we're going again. Very simple. So look. Oh! Oh, for freak's sake. I think it's sitting too low. I can't really see because it's a brown bottle and it's a brown beer. I can see it, and then it goes into the neck and disappears. Okay. So what we'll do, we'll try and raise them up a bit so I can maybe see it better. It's a bit higher, a bit more confident. There's already stout all over the floor over there. That's always a good sign. So let's go. Let's do the closest one. Okay, I need to hold it like that because I've decided to use the bloody... Oh, turned it off. Oh, in the name of God. In the name of good God. Right, here we go again. Okay, we're going. We're going. Just needed it to be a bit higher so we could see it, so get a bit closer to it. Now I can see it going straight up the bottle. Excellent. Ooh. So yeah, watching some videos here as well. Just watched one from Matt Grimbarian, brewer, and he's on about dementia and stuff. And, you know, my mum, I know I've mentioned this before, my mum's got dementia, but it just got me thinking about all the chaos of the time. I don't know if I've actually said, maybe I've said this, I don't know, before, but so my mum and dad lived together, obviously. My dad had Parkinson's, and just as he started getting bad with Parkinson's, my mum was getting really forgetful, and she was like the one supposed to be looking after him, and it just got worse and worse. And it was all, at the start it was just like stuff when he was in the hospital, and she was going over there just all the time. She doesn't drive or nothing like that. She was getting the bus over, and she was going over at all hours, day and night, and she didn't seem to know about visiting hours and all that. That's kind of how it was all starting. And she was just going to the shops, and she kept buying like a bottle of milk and a packet of bacon every time. And she was doing this like, because she's done it all her life. She was just, there was like, I went around, there was about 8 bottles of milk in the fridge. It's just madness. And then yeah, it descended and descended. I mean, after they moved out of the house, we got them out of the house and we were clearing out the house, we actually found packets of bacon down the side of the bed and in some of the drawers with socks and stuff, and just, it makes you wonder what goes through their head. Like, I mean, it's just absolute confusion, isn't it? So yeah, so that was stressful enough. So then that meant that I was kind of the main carer, which, you know, is fair enough. I'll do whatever I can. But then this was about the same time when my wife was pregnant and we just had our first child. So we've got all that stuff going on as well. And yeah, I was trying to get time to do all that and to cook them food and stuff, and we had carers and all coming in, and they were bringing in meals and stuff I'd arranged, and it's absolutely crazy. And then she just kept getting worse and worse, and my dad, he still had his mental faculties, but he was like, his body was giving up on him, you know, with the Parkinson's. And there was one time I got a phone call from the carers, and they said they couldn't get into the house. So I had to go round to the house, and I was like shouting through the lad. They locked the door. She locked the door because she thought they were in the robber. Then I had to go and get the locks changed as well too. So one that, even if you locked it from the inside, you could still open it with a key from the outside. One of them locks, which was very good, as to be said. And there was actually one time where she told me that someone had got into the house and she had phoned the police and stuff, and I had to go to the police station to see if it actually happened, because obviously I had to do something because I didn't know what was going on. Of course they had no knowledge of this whatsoever. And the kind of straw that broke the camel's back, definitely for me, because, you know, I was being told I should really get them into a home where they can be looked after 24/7, and I knew that, but I know that she really didn't want, the two of them didn't want to leave their house, any wonder, like. But it was obvious that was the only way to do it. And I used to work in my job on a Sunday, and I used to work till like lunchtime on Sunday, finish. So I was going there, and then I was going around to their house to cook them a bit of dinner and whatnot. And when you're going to their house, there's like a hill, and they live at the top of the hill. And as soon as I went to the bottom of the hill to turn in, I'd seen this fire engine at the top of the hill, and I was like, all the way up the hill, I was like praying that it wasn't a house. I was thinking, please God, do not let this be our house. And of course it was our house. Now the house wasn't on fire, but it turned out that there was a leak. There was a gas leak in the cooker. Now they were using bottled gas at the time, so it wasn't like, like natural gas, you know, piped in. But still, that was the end of it. Just like, I can't deal with this anymore. This is stressing me out. And yeah, so they went into home after that, and I managed to get them into the same home. Dad went in first, and then she went in after, because she fought it and fought it and fought it, and she was just kind of in denial that there was anything wrong with her, as you know, as they are. And they can get a bit angry and stuff about that, and that was basically her. And I don't think she took her coat off for like the first 2 weeks she was in the place. She had her, every time we went in, she had her coat on and her handbag, and she was ready to leave, waiting for me to pick her up and take her away. And even the day I left her in, I had to like slip away unannounced. She was like holding on to me because I think she sensed something was going on. And she was like, it was like Burns night. So every time Burns night come around, I always feel really guilty about having to leave the day I left her in the home. And basically, one of the nurses had this thing where she was going to have a cup of tea. And this thing, I'd look in the biscuit. As soon as she got the biscuit open, she took it. I was to slip away and then just go out and leave. And it's awful. But yeah. So, anyway, that's the 24 bottles. That actually went surprisingly well, apart from the first bit. So, right. So, got my spoons, my measuring spoons. So we're going 1/4 of a teaspoon. And we've got, what have we got? Some McKinney's granulated sugar. This is the really good stuff. No expense spared here. Not being serious, what's that? Okay. So, that else, why did I put the caps on there? With that, let's do the back row actually first. So yeah, that's me thinking about my mum now. So apologies for about that. But, I mean, she's still alive. Even now, like, I mean, that was 2012, 2013, it was Burns Night 2013, was the day she went into the home. She's still there. Still there. She's like, she doesn't recognise me at all. She hasn't done for years. I think it was a very quick descent, it seemed to be. I mean, she used to be up, they used to tell me that she was up walking about, like she had no concept of time, whether it was day or night, and she used to be up walking about the corridors all night. I don't know when she slept. Must have been sleeping during the day, I'm guessing, but and the problem was, she was fit as a fiddle. She hadn't drunk or smoked. She hadn't in years and years. She was very anti-smoking, anti-drinking, anti-everything, anti-fun. And her reward for that was dementia. And now she's been in a home for over 10 years. She's outlived everyone that's been in that home. And she is easily the longest resident. Because she was so healthy going when she went in. But yeah, she doesn't remember anyone. There was one time, okay, my brother came over, Alan. He has been on the channel before a couple of times. And we were there. I don't know if I've mentioned this. If you've already heard all these things, I apologise. I mean, I'm not really apologising, I don't really care, but yeah, so we went to see him together, and I shit you not, I was sitting on the seat beside the bed and he was at the end of the bed. She opened her eyes. I went in and said, hello mum, all this conversation. She opened her eyes, she looked at him and she said Alan. She actually said his name, convinced of it. And she doesn't talk very much, so she could have said something else, but he was convinced and I was convinced that's what she said. So, and now I'm like peeping over the bed. I've been there I go all the time, like, and he lives in Australia and he comes back once every year or 2 years. And I'm like, excuse me, who's the favourite son? So, yeah, so maybe there is still some kind of brain activity going on there. Don't know, but she doesn't really say anything when I go to visit or anything. She basically just sits there, and if she's not sleeping, she's just kind of staring at me, probably wondering who the hell I am. I'll just go there and talk to her for. I'll just go and pour my guts out. I use it as like therapy. So anything I'm worried about, any kind of concerns or anything, you know, like you would say the therapist, I imagine, because I've never been to one. Just say everything, anything that's on my mind, everything, just to get it out. And she's a good listener, I'll give her that. So she's my therapist and kind of confessional as well too. I always tell her about the channel and stuff, all the beers I'm brewing as well too, because you run out of conversation very quickly when there's nothing coming back at you. So I literally talk about everything and anything. Let's get these things kept. So we'll do all the same size bottles together. Jeez, that's getting a bit stiff. She said. Right. Okay. Okay, that's good. It's one. So I don't know. Do you want to talk about more dementia stuff, or? I mean, I think the whole point of Matt's video, and it was someone else who had started it. I think his granddad says something about his granddad got dementia, whatever. But I think that gives kind of dementia awareness. I think I'm pretty. He said Rick made a video. I'm pretty sure I'd seen that video. I don't know. I can't really remember. That's not a joke either. Can't remember. I mean, I can laugh about it now, okay? But at the time, it was just. It was like the amount of stress. I mean, I never had grey hair until after the kids came along, and now I'm thinking maybe it wasn't the kids that did it. Maybe it was all that business with my mum and dad. You know, if it had been just one of them, that would have been easier to cope with. But two at the same time, my God, and the newborn baby who didn't sleep for the first 3 years of her life. So yeah, she still lived. My dad died in 2016. So he lasted 3 years, was it? But yeah, he went downhill at the same time as well. That's just, I mean, Parkinson's is another terrible disease, like, and see what it does to people. It's horrible. See, Paxman was on, Jeremy Paxman was on, doing an article, and he's making some kind of TV show now, and he's got it, and just, can't remember what he called it, but something pretty horrific. Kind of disease that makes you wish you were dead. You hadn't been born. This is cheery, isn't it? Very cheery. So yeah, dementia. If you live that long, if you're lucky enough to live that long, that's your reward. So, you know what? 13% stout. I'm going to be chugging that down come Christmas time. I'm not worrying too much, because you know what? We're all going to die. We are all going to die. Statistically speaking, There's one person watching this video right now that's going to be a victim of a murder. Could be you. Could be you. Hoping it's not me. Technically I'm not watching this. I am going to be editing though, so God. Whoa! What was that? Screw just fell out of somewhere, or oh, it came out of this. Jesus, this is. Excuse me for reaching across you. Okay, we've got the wrong type of screwdriver, or is it? Okay, that's. I need 2 screwdrivers. The beauty of the tool wall is that it's just out there and I can see everything. It's very easy to get. I do have a toolbox full of stuff, but this is as handy. This is what we've ended up with, okay? And I know what you're thinking, what the hell is this here? This is, I actually run out of caps. I didn't run out of small bottles, I run out of caps. There's our Timmy Jenkins caps, look. 4 of them. So if you everything I have. So we've ended up with 49 bottles plus this. This is like a litre bottle. One of these IKEA. I bought a load of these when I first started brewing. I never use them. So I'm not really sure. I've got loads of them. Like I've got like boxes full of stuff down there. But yeah, so I dare say that's going to get drunk tonight. But that's it. So these are going to sit. I'm going to put these in a box as well. And they'll bring them in. I'll leave them in here for the time being. And then when it gets a bit warmer, I'll bring them into the house. We're in the front of the house where it's a bit cooler. And then they'll sit in there until autumn hits in. And then I'll bring them back out here again. The next time you see any of these will be Christmas time then. So Merry Christmas. Ahead of schedule.
Ho, ho, ho! Merry Christmas!